Hello, this is my intellectual autobiography for IST 302. I am Simon Flaherty, and I was born in Mobile, Alabama. I was born September 3rd, 1981. My two key events in my life that I'd like to list is the Battle of Fallujah 1, as well as my wedding. Now, the Battle of Fallujah was the biggest urban fight since Hue City of Vietnam. It happened in 2004, and I was right in the middle of it. So I was a member of the 1st Marine Division, and I got a chance to lead a fire team into the fight, and thankfully I was able to make it home unscathed, as well as all my Marines in my fire team. That was my most key event. My second was my wedding. Now, my wife's family and my family were great friends for years before she and I even met. So it was really great to join both of the families together for one big, amazing, fun, positive day, a day that I'll never forget. And it was really neat because I was the last person in my family to get married, and so was she. So we were kind of the babies, and it was a hell of a party. Next, the most influential people in my life is, first of all, Coach Eddie Stanky, my grandfather. I spent the summers on Mobile Bay learning to become a man with Coach Stanky. Most people know Coach Stanky after he took over the baseball team for the Jaguars and brought them to a national level. They commemorated Coach's accomplishments by naming the baseball field Stanky Field, as well as the bronze statue that stands out front is in his honor. The next most influential people in my life would be my wife. Sarah is the rock from which I stand. She sets an example that is really hard for anybody to even stay up with. She sees the best in anyone that she meets, even strangers on the street. She always gives them the benefit of the doubt. She is a big lover, and she's a big, sweet person who just wants to help people, and she makes me want to be a better person every day. That's why she's on my list. Next, my current thinking on the role of academia in my life. So both of my parents were educators. My dad was the Professor of the Year at Tulane University 5 years in a row. He was an anatomy and physiology professor. My mother was an educator for over 12 years as well. She was a PE teacher, and she was a high school volleyball coach for several different schools for years. Now, throughout my family, they've always pushed on me ever since I was young the importance of higher education and college. And it only became apparent to me later on in life. The next thing that, I guess my current thinking would be on gun ownership. Now, having been a veteran myself, I've had to use handguns, I've had to use firearms, but I grew up respecting them and understanding the fundamentals of marksmanship, as well as respecting the safety and ownership of firearms. There's never a day that you're ever going to find me without one in my home bedside or in my vehicle. I use it for target practice, I go hunting with friends, but then I also use it to defend my home. Now, being a veteran, it's going to be a little bit different for me regarding gun ownership than most because of what I've had to see and what I've had to do. But there will never be a day I won't have a firearm in my home, and I'll teach my children all about them as well one day. So, how the place of my birth, the two events in my life, as well as the influential people have shaped my thinking on academia as well as gun ownership. So, place of birth. I'm from Mobile, Alabama. We clutch our Bibles tight and our handguns just as tight. So being from the South, a lot of us hunt. A lot of us like to shoot, and we hold that Second Amendment right tight. And so that doesn't change. Where I live, people own guns, so it only makes sense that I have my whole life. Next is the events in my life. So obviously, the fact that I deployed to Iraq, and then also that I married my loving wife, my marriage didn't change much of my thoughts on college as well as gun ownership. But obviously my deployment to Iraq, it really didn't have much to do with my thought of college, but it definitely cemented the priority that I would place on always having a good firearm, readily available, and to teach the respect of owning it and the safety. And then lastly, the two most influential people. So my grandfather, he owned guns. He was a sportsman. He was a Southern man at heart, even though he was from Philadelphia. But then also my wife, being the second influential person. Her family has guns as well, and she's in the same mindset as I am with my family. where safety first, but we exercise our rights and we love guns as well. Thank you very much.